Namo Buddhaya. One of our viewers have asked from us a question that how can I practice letting go in my life? How can I practice the ability of letting go in my life? So this special video is dedicated for him as well as for all of you have the same question within yourself. We need to realize a real reality in our life to have this ability in our lives. And that is, the whole world is out of our control. First of all, you need to realize that. The whole world that you live in this around you is out of your control. People, situations, experiences, and other people's opinions, the things, all the things are out of your control. Remember that. Is that true? Yes. Now, when you take people, can you control people according to all the wishes that you have? No. Can you control the situations that you face in the future? No, you don't know about that. Right? Can you control the experiences that you face in the future? You cannot do that. And also, can you control the things around you according to your wish? No, you cannot control that for 100%. Right? So, first of all, you need to realize this real truth. The whole world is out of our control. But there is something that is within our control. What is that? That is our reaction towards them, our response towards those experiences. Right? So that is what in your control. Right? So normally, it is very hard to let go of the things or the people from our lives because there is a nature of our mind that it has the clinging effect. Our mind likes to grasp the things and the people and the experience that we see. That is what we call the upādāna. Supreme Buddha said, Yankinchi dukkhang sambhoti sabbang upādāna paccaya. If there is any suffering which arises in our life, that is because of the clinging of our mind towards them. Right? Now, it is very hard to let go of the anger. Right? It is very hard to let go of the sadness. Right? Now, people would like to let go of the hard situations in their life. Right? But our mind is not ready for that. There's a special effect that it always wanders in those difficult situations, sad situations, in anger and evil thoughts. Right? It is very hard to let go of those things. But remember, all the things that we experience in this world, all the people that we meet in this world, right? All the things that we have in this world, one day we have to let go of these things. Even though we cannot let go of the things today, one day, at the end of our life, we have to say goodbye to all these things. Right? But there is something that we take from this life. What is that? The things that we did according to those stimulations. Our reactions towards those experiences. Our reactions towards those people. So, if we collect that karma, right, that is the only thing that we can take from this life. That is the thing that only we own in this life. So, we have to remember, first of all, that the world is out of our control. Right? Things may fade away from our life. People may fade away from our life. And also, if you are going through a hard situation, difficult situations, remember, it will also fade away from your life, because everything in this world is impermanent. Nothing is there is permanent, right? Nothing is permanent, not even your problems, and also, remember, not even your sweet memories, sweet times, beautiful times. Everything is impermanent. So when the things are fading away from our life, right? When the people are walking away from our life, do not hold on to them. The problem we suffer is that we are holding on to those things, right? The more we hold on to things, the more we will suffer, right? The more we hold on to the things, the more we will suffer. Right? It is like you are keeping a red hot iron ball on your palm. Right? The more you hold on to that iron ball, that red hot iron ball, remember, you are the one who is getting hurt. You are the one who is suffering. But if you let go of that, you are not suffering anymore. So what you have to do is realize the reality of impermanence. Every person, everything, every experience, every situation is impermanent. So when those things are being impermanent, you can be happy by seeing the reality, because you have expected that thing in your life, because you know that these things are impermanent in my life, right? When the things are fading away, just don't hold on to them. Let them fade away. Let them go away, right? Don't hold on. The more you hold on, the more you will suffer. So that is how we let go of the things in our life, right? If you let go of the things, when the things are walking away from our life, you can be happy, right? You can be positive always, and you can maintain your inner peace within you. So don't hold on to things, don't hold on to anger, don't hold on to people, because everything is impermanent in this world. Namo Buddhaya. Have you ever wondered why some people are so good and so clever in what they are doing? Maybe there are some people who are studying with you, maybe some people who are in your workspace. There are some people who are very clever and very capable of doing in their profession. Okay, they are very successful in it. What is the reason behind this? What is the reason behind this success? Well, if we can define success in one word, the only word that we can find is consistency. This quality is very important for all of our lives. Not only in your day-to-day life, not only in your career, but also in your spiritual path. Okay? If someone is practicing spiritual path, consistency is the key for success. Okay? Now, what do you mean by consistency? Consistency means doing something every single day or without stopping for a long period of time until you get better at it. Now, if we look at our life, there are some bad habits we all have in our life. Okay? Why we are so good at these bad things? The reason behind why we are so good at bad things is we have done it for a long period of time every single day without stopping. That is the nature of our mind, and that is the nature of our life. Whether it is good or bad, if we are doing it consistently, or if we are doing it over and over for a long period of time, we get so good at it. That is why we are so good at distractions. That is why we are so good at anger, jealousy, and all these evil thoughts in our mind, because we have practiced it over a long period of time. Now, Buddha said, if you need to cultivate wholesome thoughts, and if you need to do, and if you need to be successful in your spiritual life, what are you going to do? You have to cultivate and you have to practice these wholesome thoughts or wholesome activities for a long period of time without stopping, okay? Every single day, okay? Let's keep the spiritual life for a part. Let's take the studying and education. Now, if you're someone who is studying and if you're someone who is focused on education, what do you have to do? You have to keep studying, okay? Sometimes you find very difficult and very challenging to keep studying. Why? Because our mind gets distracted, okay? Sometimes we lose our focus. Now, in that time, so many of people, they complain that I cannot study, okay? I'm distracting always. What is the reason? Why? What is the problem with me? Well, the only problem behind the failure or the unsuccessfulness is lack of consistency. Sometimes we try to study and then we feel tired and we feel less focused and then we give up, okay? And then after maybe like 2-3 days, again we try to study and then again the same thing happen and then we give up, okay? In that way, you're not going to be successful, okay? If you want to be successful in any field of your life, maybe studying, maybe in your meditations, maybe in your spiritual life, maybe in kindness, maybe cultivating compassion in your life, what do you have to do? You have to be consistent. That is the only way to be successful in anything. I can still remember when we came to become monks, okay, on the first day, our monks gave this first advice to us. That is, they said that it takes several minutes to become a monk physically, okay? It takes a few minutes to make your body a monk. But it takes years and years, maybe lifetime, to be a monk from your mind. You will fail, you will be unsuccessful in some parts in your life, but you have to keep going. Do not ever quit. That is the first advice that we were given. So, to be good at anything, to be successful, to be happy, to be successful in your spiritual life, to practice meditations, to be good at that, what are you going to do? Keep doing it every single day. That is the thing. But there's a problem. The real problem or the real enemy for the consistency is the higher expectations. We set a lot of high expectations in our life, and when we are not able to get it, we give up. That is the only thing. Now, so many people come to me and complain that I cannot meditate for 1 hour. What is the problem with me? I cannot focus for 1 hour. Well, in the beginning, no one can do that, okay? There may be some few lucky people in this world, okay? They can concentrate instantly. But if you want to be good at in your meditations, in your focusing and your concentration power, what do you want to do? Keep doing it, okay? Do not set high expectations, right? Aim for the little achievements. Maybe like you can focus and you can think like, before you are starting meditation, you can think, well, if my mind became concentrated or well focused only for 1 minute, that's okay. I'm happy with that 1 minute, okay? When you focus on that, you can easily achieve it. You can do that. When you achieve it, you feel a sense of happiness in your life. You feel like you achieved that target. So in the next day, when you meditate, maybe you can focus your mind or you can concentrate your mind for 2 minutes, okay? So if you keep on focusing on little achievements and without having high expectations in your life in the first time, then you will be good at maintaining your consistency. Because sometimes when we don't see results, okay, when we don't get results quickly as we want, we just give up. That is the biggest problem in our minds, okay? To be successful, you need to spend a period of time that you are not seeing the results, okay? One day I was climbing, and in Sri Lanka, we have a nice mountain where we climb to see the Buddha's footprint, okay? That is called Adam's Peak or the Sri Pada in Sri Lanka. So once we were climbing, we could not see the mountain top. We don't know where we are going, okay? So one monk said to me, it doesn't matter, you cannot see where you are going, but if you're clear in your next step, take that step, okay? And if you're in the correct path, no matter how fast or slow you go, you will go to your destination that you want to go. So always remember that it doesn't matter how fast or how slow you are moving towards success. The most important thing is that whether you are going to do it every single day in the correct way or not. So remember, consistency is the key for success for anything. So keep doing what you're doing, right? Keep doing the good works that you're doing, even if you don't see the results in your life. Keep doing it, and one day I'm very sure, okay, I'm very sure that you will achieve your goals definitely. So keep that in your mind. May you be happy and well. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to yet another episode in Inner Guide Q&A program. Now, in society, we have heard some people may say, being kind is a weakness. The people who become kind to others are weak. People may say like that. So today, from this Inner Guide Q&A program, we are going to find that how to be kind without being weak. We need to know that kindness itself is not a weakness. Kindness is a virtue. It is a great quality that you can have in your mind. But people consider the people who become kind to others, people who are very compassionate to others, are weak. But that is not the reality. So how can you be kind without being weak? So it reminds me a wonderful discourse in Supreme Buddha's teachings. In that discourse it says, if you can maintain your patience when you are powerful than the other person, if you can maintain your inner peace when someone complains you or someone hurts you, even though you are more powerful than that person, that is the greatest patience that you can have in your life. So, being patient, being silent, doesn't define that you are weak. So how to be kind and how to be patient without being weak? So you should not go to the arena of negativeness. It means you should not be patient out of fear. And you should not go to the arena of aggressiveness. That means you should not be aggressive to others. Instead, you can be assertive. You should not be negative and you should not be aggressive. Instead, you can be assertive. So what do you mean by assertiveness? Assertiveness means being kind and maintaining your inner peace without being aggressive, and still you can be confident. If you can be confident as well as if you can be kind to others, that is what you call the assertiveness. So, when you be kind to other person, that does not mean that you are weak. So what you have to do when you become kind, you have to be wise also. So the kindness mixed with wisdom is the best kindness. You can be kind. If those people, if those evil people or toxic people comes to you and start hurting you again and again, you have to take yourself back. You can stay away from those people. You should not fall into the same trap again and again. Instead, you can be away from them. And that is what you call the assertiveness. So, in your life, you should be kind as well as wise. When you become kind and as well as wise, you become assertive. That is what the real kindness is. So don't let anyone to control your inner peace. Don't let anyone to change your emotions and make you sad. Instead, you should be assertive. You should maintain your inner peace and be confident and be patient and be kind to them, but never ever be angry and hurt others. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Today from this Inner Guide Q&A program, we are going to discuss how to be more productive in meditations. Today I'm going to share with you 3 tips which helps you a lot in meditations, to do your meditations without stopping. First and the foremost tip that you need to practice in your meditations is to keep your expectations low. Because most of us sit for the meditation expecting that I'm going to meditate for 1 hour and I'm going to be concentrated throughout this meditation. Sometimes our mind is not ready to be concentrated. Now you know the nature of mind is it's like a monkey. It always runs here and there. It is easily distracted, easily frustrated. It is very clumsy. So if you make too much expectations, you will start to suffer because you are not having what you want in that meditation. So what you have to do is you have to know that the mind is impermanent. It will not be the same always. Sometimes your mind is very calm and quiet, and sometimes it will be frustrated and it will be more clumsy than you ever thought. So what you have to do, if you are meditating for maybe 15 minutes, if your mind become concentrated for only 1 minute, just you have to be happy with that. Do not expect too much, because the expectations stands for the sufferings. The more we expect, the more we will suffer. So keep your expectations low. When you are meditating, you always have to think that I will do my meditation as I can. Whether my meditation or whether my mind is concentrated for maybe 1 minute, it's okay. I can be happy with that. If you become happy with what you have, then you can move on. You have that willpower. You will get that willpower to move on to the next meditation. So people become frustrated when they meditate and when they not get what they want. So that is the first tip. Number 2, don't force your mind. Because the more we try to force our mind, the more our mind will be destructive. It's like a monkey. If we try to force a monkey to sit on a chair, what will happen? The monkey will not do that. It is not ready to do that. Same goes with your mind. If you force too much your mind to do the meditation, it will be frustrated and it will be panic more and more. So what you have to do not force your mind. Just let your mind to feel comfortable and relaxed in meditation. When your mind feels relaxed and comfortable in meditations, it will like to do the meditation again and again. So what you have to do is not to force your mind for the meditation too much. And that brings us for the 3rd step. It is the consistency. There are some days that you don't get any concentration in your mind, in your meditations, right? Though you meditated for maybe 30 minutes, your mind would not be concentrated. But you should not give up. You should not stop. Because if we practice this consistency throughout this meditation, one day, there will be a day that your mind will get concentrated and your mind will obey your instructions. So what you have to do? Never give up in your meditations. Do it whether you got bad results also. Practice consistency. Consistency is the key for the perfection. Right? You don't want to be talented, you don't want to be clever at first in meditations. What you have to do, all you need to hang on to that meditation and do it again and again and again. One day you will be perfect at meditations. So practice these 3 tips and have a perfect and peaceful meditation in your life. Namo Buddhaya. One of you have asked from us, how can we kill the laziness? How can we do the things without laziness? Okay, today from this Inner Guide Q&A program, we are going to discuss that how can we do the things without the laziness and how can we kill the laziness. To kill the laziness and to do the things without laziness, to stop being lazy in our works, our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us that you should have 4 great qualities. If you have these 4 great qualities within you, you will never feel lazy in your works. You will never feel lazy when you are doing meditations. You will never feel lazy when you are doing studies. To accomplish anything, any special goal in your life, you need to have these 4 great qualities. So what are those great qualities? These are known as 4 iddhipadas. The first great quality, the first iddhipada that you need to have to accomplish anything in your life and to do the things without laziness is called chanda. What do you mean by chanda? Chanda means the desire. If you have the desire for doing something, in one way or another, you are going to do that because you like it, you love it. If you love what you do, or if you do what you love, you will never feel lazy. Now, suppose that you are going a trip or a picnic tomorrow. So tonight, when you are going to bed, you never feel sleepy, you never feel lazy because your mind is excited and you love that day, that coming tomorrow. So you are going to be happy in that day. So if you are doing something that is you like, that you are passionate about, you will never feel lazy. So what you have to do? To kill the laziness, to do the things without the laziness, you need to generate the desire for doing that. If you are doing meditations, you need to have a desire for doing that. Without the desire, if you do the meditations and do the spiritual practices without the desire, you will feel lazy. That is the first great quality, chanda. Here comes the second one. It's called the chitta. Chitta means the mindset. You need to have the determination and you should have the correct mindset to do the thing that you want. You need to have a great determination that I will do this thing today. Right? You need to have that mindset of not giving up. If you have the correct mindset to do something, you will never feel lazy. Because you are well focused to that. Your mind is focused to what you are doing. When your mind is focused to something, you don't feel lazy anymore. You don't feel giving up anymore. You don't feel bored anymore. So what you have to do? You need to have a correct mindset to do that work. Then you will never feel lazy. That is the second step. Third step, and the third great quality, that's called the virya. Virya means effort. To do something, to achieve any good goal in your life, you need to give some effort to that. You need to dedicate yourself. You need to sacrifice your time, your life, your blood and sweat to do that. Then only you can achieve that. When you are dedicated for something, when your mind is dedicated for something, you will never feel lazy. So what you have to do? You need to dedicate yourself and you need to try hard in your works. Try hard in your studies. You should never give up in your meditations. Then you will never feel lazy because you are committed to that. You are dedicated to your work. That is the third step. That is the third great quality. Here comes the fourth great quality. That is the final one. It's called the Vimamsa. Vimamsa means investigation. You need to investigate what are the ways that I can do my work easily. What are the ways that I can be more productive in my work? If you investigate yourself in your work, then you can kill the laziness. Because sometimes we do the things that we don't love and that we don't like. If you have the power of investigation, that what are the things that I like to do? What are the things that my heart feels free to do? If you do those things, you will never feel lazy. So what you have to do? You need to have these four great qualities. First one is called Chanda, the desire. Second one, Chitta, the mindset. Third one, Virya, the effort. And the final one, Vimamsa, the investigation. So if you have these four great qualities, you can do the things without the laziness and you can kill the laziness in your life. So practice these qualities and escape from the laziness and be happy in your life. Namo Buddhaya. Now, one of our viewers have asked a question from us that what is true love according to the Buddhism? Well, when we talk about the topic love, remember, as humans, as beings in this world, we all seek love and affection in our life, right? All living beings needs love to live. So when we talk about the topic love, it is a vast and a broad topic, right? Love can be found in many ways. But the basic and the base for all these kinds of love is the kindness and the compassion. But most oftenly, people may misunderstand the love and the attachment. Right? When we come to the topic of love between the partners, the male and females, boys and girls, many of the boys and girls, they doesn't know what is true love and what is attachment. Now there is a distinct difference between true love and attachment. So what is that difference? Well, when someone loves another person, he will say, I need you to be happy by being with me. Right? In the other hand, if someone being attached to some person, he will always say that why are you not making me happy? Right? So there is a big difference between these two expressions. When someone loves another person, he will say, I need you to be happy by being with me. That means you are trying to give something to someone. Right? You always try to give the happiness to a person. But if you are being attached to someone, right? If you are developing lustful ideas towards someone, your mind will say, why are you not making me happy? You need to make me happy. So that is based on the selfishness. Right? The true love is based on unselfishness. Right? In the true love, there are many things, many good assets. There are the love, kindness, compassion, patience. These are the basic qualities that leads to the true love. Right? If you're loving someone, you need to be kind to that person. You need to be compassionate to that person. You need to feel the sadness of those people. Now, when we talk about the topic compassion, compassion means to suffer with other people. That means if you can feel the pain that is hidden inside the people's life, if you can feel and become empathy, you can feel the empathetic feeling about them, then that is called compassion. If you can share the pain that is in another person with you, then that is compassion. So in true love, you need to have that sharing ability. And also, you need to have the kindness. You need to always wish the well-being of that person. Right? You need always to wish the good of that person. That is how you love truly. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha gave a wonderful explanation for the love. Supreme Buddha said, Mata yatani yang puttang ayusa eka putta manurakhe. As a mother who loves her only child, you should spread that same love to every person in this world. So when we talk about mother's love, parents, they does not expect anything from us. Instead, they love us. Now, when we were small, right, we were doing so many terrible things to our parents, right? Have you seen that the babies do so many terrible things to their parents, right? They drag from their hair, they pinch them, they cry, they yell, but yet the parents still love their children. So when someone is truly loving someone, it's like they're holding them firmly and they're nurturing them, right? But if you are attached to a person, you always expect the things from others, right? You always expect the things that fulfill your desires, right? When someone is attached and when someone is being lustful for someone, that means he's always expecting to fulfill every fulfillment and desire from that person. You're not trying to give something, always you are trying to get something from that person, right? It's like you're holding on to something tightly, right? Suppose you are drawing a cow or a bull. You are holding that cow or a bull from a rope. So when that animal tries to escape, what you are doing is you are holding it tightly, right? The more you hold it tightly, you are the one who is getting hurt, right? You are the one who is getting hurt. If you can let go, what will happen? You are not getting hurt anymore. So when you are being attached to a person, you will always get hurt. And you will never fulfill your desires, because desires and sensual desires, they never get fulfilled. We cannot make ourselves satisfied from those things. Okay? So that is what you call the attachment. In attachment, you hold on to things tightly. There is a great quote that describes about love. If you like a flower, right? If you like a flower, you will pluck that flower. But if you love a flower, you will water the plant. that flower plant. So if you love someone, what you have to do, you have to say that I need you to be happy with me. Right? I always wish the happiness of your life. If that happiness includes me, that is better. But if it is not, in that case also, I need you to be happy. That is how you love truly. And that is the difference between the true love and the attachment, right? In true love, you don't expect anything from the person, but still you try to give the happiness to them. In attachment, you always expect the things from people, and still you will never be satisfied from them. So choose to love the people correctly. If you choose to love people correctly, then you will be a peaceful person throughout your life. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranam. Namo Buddhaya. Good morning everyone. Welcome back to another video. From today's video, let's discuss about the problem of feeling worthless, right? Sometimes no matter how good we are, sometimes how good other people to us are, we feel worthless about ourselves, right? We feel that we don't have any value, right? My life, there is no value in my life. Why am I living? Have you ever felt like this? Now, this has been a big problem for me before becoming a monk, right? Before becoming a monk, we have to undergo a training period of like 1.5 years, right? I will tell you about my story. So I was staying in this monastery, and I had to learn how to become a monk, and we were practicing and everything. But since even though everything is good, everything around me is good, right? Everyone around me is good, and also even though I am doing good, that still I feel like, why am I living in this life, right? My life, there is no value in my life. Everything that I do, I fail. Sometimes I fail in my life. But when you fail like that, you think like, oh, I'm a failure, right? I don't have any value in my life. And that is not the reality, right? That when it comes to reality, that is not true. But still, mind is very good at distorting the reality and creating these scenarios in our mind to say to our life that you're worthless, right? You have no value. There is no value in your life, right? You're not good enough. So how can we deal with this? So I will tell you how I got the help from the spiritual companions and the monks and my teacher. So one time I was so upset of the things that I'm doing, and also everything that I have been doing went wrong, right? It wasn't successful. I was meditating, I was helping the monk, but sometimes I made mistakes, and I was worrying about these mistakes. No one complained about me. No one said nothing bad about me, but still my heart says to me that you're not good enough. You're a failure, right? So I was so upset. And now when you're in upset mindset, what is the first thing that comes out of you? It's your facial expressions, right? Someone can say your face is a reflection of your mind state. Okay, so I was upset, and one of the monks who was residing in that monastery noticed me that I'm upset. So he came up to me and said, like, tell me, what's bothering you? Is there anything that is bothering in your mind? You can say it to me. Let's discuss. So the first reaction, as usual, when someone asks from us, how are you, or is there any problem in you? What we say is that, okay, I'm fine, right? There's no problem. But he understood my mental state and told me, tell me the truth. I'm here to help you. We can discuss so that we can sort out the problem. So I told this condition of my mind, mental state of my mind, that I am feeling worthless. I'm feeling that I'm a failure. And then he said, okay, you're feeling worthless. Let's say you're feeling worthless and you're feeling that you don't have any value in your life. But now I need you to check the reality. What are you doing right now? You're meditating, you're helping the monks and you're doing all the chores and you're still feeling worthless? Is that the reality? One thing that he said is check the reality, right? Check what is real. Because mind is pretty good at creating all the worst case scenarios and all the pessimistic thoughts in our mind. Because it's a thought pattern, right? One thing that our mind has is it has the habit of creating the thought patterns, right? Once we start to feed our mind with a certain thought patterns, it has this looping effect of creating this thought pattern again and again and again. The more we think it, the more it comes back to our mind. So he said that check the reality and understand that your life is not worthless, right? Your life, there are many things that you can be happy about, right? That's the reality. As humans, there is nothing that we can feel like my life is worthless, right? Because there are so many things that we can be happy about. Like being a human itself is something that we can be happy about, right? We got the chance to be a human and practice these good qualities, live as a good human itself is something that we can be happy about. And be happy about that you have air to breathe, right? You have people around you that smiles at you. At least something that find something that you can be happy about, because there are so many things, there are thousands and thousands of things in reality that we can be happy about. Okay, that is one thing that you have to do. Check the reality. Is it true that my mind saying that your life is worthless? But when you come to reality, you find that there are a lot of things that you can be happy about in our life. Okay, and there's another thing that you can do, and that is keep a gratitude journal, right? Write few things that you have to be like you can be happy about in your life, right? You can be happy about so many things if you think about it. So find something and write about it. And also another thing that you have to do whenever you get these kind of thought patterns is to try to give more, right? Try to help more to other people, right? Whenever you do that, you feel the value of the things that you do, right? The positive energy that you create towards other people, right? And whenever you give, whenever you help others, you see the smile of their faces. You see that people are thanking you, and you think that, oh, this is what the true value of my life, right? My life is not worthless. My life is valuable, that I can create many positive things around me in my life, so that it's not true that my mind's saying that I'm worthless, right? When you realize that, you come to this state and come to that understanding that how valuable this human life is, right? How many positive things that you can do in this life, right? When you do that, that state of mind will go away. So things that we have to do is check the reality and understand, ask from yourself that is that true, that truly that my life is worthless or not, right? And also be generous, help other people, and be happy and understand that your life is truly valuable. So keep this little advice in your mind and be happy. What do you do when you want to give your fullest help to someone and you're willing to help someone, right? You're giving your best to help someone and still they don't understand your help. They don't understand the value of your help, and they don't understand the consequences of their bad habits, the bad things that they do. What should you do? Well, this is one of the most common questions that I get asked from people. I need to help this person. I care about this person. I want to help that person. I'm giving the best of mine, but still, they're not ready to take that help. They're not growing up. What should I do? Should I help them or should I stop helping them? Well, I'll tell you the Buddha story, right? Buddha had a cousin, and his name was Devadatta. Later, he became a monk, and in the beginning, he did fine. He did good. He was doing good. He did meditations, and he was doing good, right? He became a monk under the Buddha's guidance.
And little by little, Buddha became famous. People started to gather around the Buddha. When Devadatta saw this, he became jealous on the Buddha. And he thought, no, I need to become the Buddha. Right? I need to take this position. He thought that Buddhahood was a position like a position that was in a company. Right? That means like you swap the person and you can go to that position. It was not like that. Right? So what happened? He tried everything. Right? Devadatta tried everything to hurt the Buddha and harm the Buddha's life and kill the Buddha. But still, Buddha had the compassion in his heart towards Devadatta. And I came across this one part of the sutra that the Buddha says, it's amazing. The Buddha says that if there is anyone that I was thinking about day and night and giving my fullest to help, right, that was Devadatta. I was willing to give my best and I was thinking about him day and night to help this person. This person did not understand the consequences of his evil intentions. Right? So Buddha was willing to help, but he did not get the help. Right? And do you know when Devadatta learned the lesson? It was in his deathbed. In his deathbed, Devadatta told, I regret about the things that I did in the past towards the Buddha. From now onwards, I go for refuge to the Buddha. But sometimes it is late, right? So we need to understand that. For some people to learn lessons in life, it takes some time, right? It takes a long time to learn lessons, right? Sometimes you are giving your fullest help and they don't understand. That is the nature of people. Because capacities of people, mental capacities of people, how people view this world is different. Okay. So if you care about someone, right? If you love someone, you need to give your best to help that person, right? You need to be willing to give your best to that person. Sometimes they will not understand it, right? In that case, please do not lose who you are, right? Do not lose your characters, good characters, in the name of helping that person, right? You have to protect yourself. If you only protect yourself, you can help that person, right? First, do not lose who you are, lose your characters, and lose your ethics to help someone. That is the first thing that you have to do. And then the second thing is that you need to understand, for some people to learn lessons in life, it takes time, right? So that you need to wait until that. Until then, you need to practice your compassion and your empathy towards that person. The Buddha said that, I have empathy towards Devadatta. So in the same way, if we can have the empathy towards that person, that is the best thing to do. And the third thing is that you need to be willing to help. Give your fullest help at any time when they are ready, right? Because sometimes when we give our help, right, we try our best and then we give up. And after some time, the person learns the lesson and they come back to us to get the help. And now we have the ego in our mind. Is that we always keep that past memories in our head and we say, no, I'm not giving you the help. If you truly care about that person, if you truly love someone, you need to be willing to give your help at any time, right? Whether they are in your life or out of your life, whatever the place, whatever the situation, if you truly care about that person's development, right, you need to be willing to help. So this is what we need. First, we need the patience. And then we need to give the time for people to grow and learn, right? Sometimes it works for you. And also we need to be willing to help that person, give the best to that person. And that is what we do in these kind of situations. So I believe that you got some idea about this situation. So I wish you, may all of you be healthy, happy, and may all of you be able to realize the 4 noble truths in this life. Namo Buddhaya. Why do bad things happen to good people? Sometimes you've asked this question from yourself. I'm a good person. I help everyone. I don't hurt anyone. I can see myself as a good person. But still, why all these bad things? Why all these painful things, sufferings? happened to my life? Why life always keep testing me always? Well, these questions we've asked most of the times in our life, right? Do you know how Buddha saw this? In the night of his enlightenment, the first thing that he realized was that life is consist of suffering. Suffering is a part of everyone's life, right? So Buddha did not say suffering as a part of good people's life or a bad people's life. Buddha saw that suffering was universal, right? But when we face adversities in life, when we face these realities like painful situations in our life, we think that the only person who is going through this suffering, the only person that is going through this difficulty is only me. That is how everyone feels. Not to lie, sometimes I feel that. But what Buddha teaches us to see it as is to see the suffering as a universal thing. I'll tell you a story. A young mother lost her baby. But she loved her baby so much that she refused to accept her baby's death. What she did? She took her baby and ran from one village to another, one city to another, finding a doctor to cure her baby. But no one could bring a dead person back to life. Finally, she met the Buddha. The Buddha said, "Okay, I will cure your baby. But we need one medicine to do this. Can you bring it? Go and bring a handful of mustard from a family that no one has ever died." So the mother was so much happy. She thought that she could find this easily. So she ran to the village and went to the first house that she found and asked, "Do you have a handful of mustard that I can get?" Then when the householder was about to give the handful of mustard, she said, "Has anyone died in your family?" Then they said, "Oh, my uncle died last year." Then she said, "I don't want your mustard." She went to the next house and she got the same answer. Someone had died. She went to the other one. She went from one house to another and she went through the whole village. The only word that she heard was, "Someone died." Death. Then she understood, okay, death is not only for me. Death was something that I always heard in this journey. Maybe my child is dead. So she made her heart strong enough to accept her baby's death. She went back to the monastery to meet the Buddha and thanked the Buddha for curing not the baby, but her heart. What Buddha teaches us to see about life is that to see the suffering as universal. So next time when you go through a difficulty in your life, and the next time when you go through a hardship, painful feeling in life, understand that you are not all alone. There are so many people who is going through in life that's in the same situation, the suffering. Okay? Most of the time, we try to remove the suffering from life. We always wish that this suffering was not there in our life. Right? We go to sleep thinking that next day morning when we wake up, all these things will be a dream. All these problems will disappear. But the reality is, when there is suffering in life, there is suffering. So that the first thing that we need to do is that accept that there is suffering in life. So the whole point of realizing the first noble truth in Buddhism is to accept the suffering as it is, to see the suffering as it is. Only when you accept the suffering, we can cure it. We can find a remedy for it. First of all, you need to accept that there is pain and suffering in all of our lives, right? And then we can choose what to do with it. Most of the time, we spend a lot of time worrying about changing what we can't change, right? But it all depends on how you choose to react to these experiences in life. Most of the time, these painful feelings, sufferings that comes to our life are blessings in disguise, right? If we did not get difficult situations, if we did not get hardships to our life, right, challenges in our life, how can we develop a strong mindset, right? There's a saying that if you need to learn how to swim, what do you have to do? You have to jump to the pool. Somehow, you have to experience how drowning feels like. Only then you can realize that what should I do to learn how to swim, right? In the same way, there is no use of trying to avoid or wishing and praying that suffering was not there in life, right? There's no point of wishing and praying that, please don't give me suffering. Always wish a mindset that you can face strongly to all these sufferings and painful situations in life. Whenever you get a strong mind to face any kind of challenge in your life, then you can be happy and in peace, because you're ready for anything in your life, right? So always wish a strong mindset that you can face any challenge, any difficult situation in life. So remember that not only bad things happen to good people, good things also happen to good people. And also, sometimes you may think, why all those good things happen to bad people, right? It is not always the case. Good things happen to bad people, and also bad thing happens to good people. That is the law of this world. So we all need to develop the mindset to see the suffering as a common truth to everyone, not a personal thing. So I wish you all, may all of you be able to develop a strong mindset to face any challenge in all of your life. Namo Buddhaya.